Hello guys, welcome back. Now from this session onwards, we are going to discuss about various types of plot and their usage. So let's start our discussion. So guys, we already know about that plot is being used for data visualization and we can use these plots for different purposes. So let's discuss about what are the purpose we are having in data analysis. So majorly we are having 6 type of purpose for which we are using the different kind of plot. The first thing, we want to identify the relationship between two variables, and the plots under correlation is used to visualize the relationship between two or more variables, and correlation plots gives us information like how does one variable change with respect to another variable. Now proceeding to the another purpose, that is deviation. We want to identify how much variance we are having within the given data set, then we use various kinds of deviation plots. Now let's proceed further and discuss about another purpose, that is ranking. Sometime it is required to get the information about the ranking within a given data set, information like what is the maximum range, what is the min range. So there are certain plots which help us to identify the ranking of the data within the given data set. Now let's proceed further and discuss about distribution. So guys, while doing the data analysis, sometime we require to know the distribution of the data within the given data set, how the continuous variable is distributed within the given data set. Same way, if we want to identify the distribution of the categorical variable, we will be using various type of plot to identify the distribution within the given data set. Now let's discuss about another purpose, that is composition. Sometime within data analysis it is required to identify the composition detail within the given data set. So to get the information about the composition, we will be using various plots that we will look into. Now at last but not the least, we will be using various plots to identify the changes within the given data set. And when we are dealing with any kind of time series data, then on that time we will be using various plots which will be capturing, or say which will be visualizing the changes within the data set. And this is one of the important purpose when we are dealing with the time series data. So guys, this is about the purpose of the data visualization, or say purpose of the plotting. Now let's discuss about what are the plot which falls into each category. So let's jump into the Jupyter notebook and we will discuss one by one in this session, and next session onward we will write the code for different types of plots. So guys, the first purpose we have discussed about correlation, and the plots which belongs to this is the scatter plot. We are going to write the code for a scatter plot in the next session. In this session we will discuss about what are the plots available in each of the category one by one. So with the scatter plot and other plots which belongs to this category, like a scatter plot with line of best fit, counts plot, marginal box plot, parallelogram, heat map, pairwise plot. So all these plot is used to identify the relationship between two variables and more than two variables, which we will look into. But remember that whenever you want to identify the relationship between two variables, then these are the plots is going to be very helpful to visualize the relationship. Now let's proceed further. There is other purpose which we have discussed is the deviation. Within deviation there is something called diverging bars and diverging dot plot. So this is very helpful to identify the deviation within the data set. That means suppose if you want to identify the variance within the data set, then it is going to be very helpful, these two plots. Then next we have discussed about ranking. So identify the ranking within the given data set, we are going to look into ordered bar chart and dot plot. So these two plot is very helpful to identify the ranking within the given data set. Now let's proceed further, and we have also discussed about the distribution. Distribution generally we use very much within data analysis. We need to identify the distribution of the data within the given data set. So for that reason you will find there are various plots we will be using. Two major thing we generally do. First one is the correlation identification when we do the data analysis, and the second one we generally do the distribution, where we want to identify the distribution of the continuous variable, then we want to identify the distribution of the categorical variable, then we are going to use histogram. Histogram is one of the old methods and very effective way to identifying the distribution within the given data set. Along with that we will also discuss about density plot. We will look into how to create density plot. We will also look into density curves with histogram, and at last we will also discuss about the box plot. Box plot is very helpful also to identify the distribution within the given data set. For the next purpose we have discussed composition, where we want to identify the composition detail within the given data set. So for that reason, we are going to use pie chart. Pie chart is also an old methodology which you have seen many places where you want to know the composition of different kind of a data within the given data set. So we use pie chart. There is another method which we use for composition, that is tree map. Tree map is also very useful way of identifying the composition within the given data set. The third category of chart we are going to look into, or plot we are going to look into, is the bar chart, which you already aware about. Most of the places you have seen the bar chart. That is also very useful method to identify the composition. And the last purpose we have discussed, that is very useful when we are dealing with the time series data set, and on that time basically we are using time series plot. We will look into how to create time series plot. We are also going to discuss about time series decomposition plot. It is very effective plotting technique to identify the trend within the given data set that we will look into. So overall, these number of plotting technique we are going to look into, or these number of plots we are going to look into, and we will look into the best practices to write the code for data visualization. So on this note, I am stopping over here. Next session onwards, I am going to start writing the code for each of the plot. If you want to follow along, you can follow with me. So see you in the next session. Till then, bye bye, take care.